New Extra Charge Hot and Iced Coffee from Dunkin' is made with 20% extra caffeine from green coffee extract, because we could all use a little extra this year. Whether that's an extra boost, some extra boldness, or the drive to go the extra mile, we're extra ready for whatever comes our way and extra excited to take it on. Let's get it done with a medium extra charged coffee from Dunkin' for $2 with 20% more caffeine. And pair it with snackable stuffed bagel minis for an added all-day boost. Order ahead on the Dunkin' app. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
At NJM Insurance, making our customers happy is what makes us number one. J.D. Power ranked us first in the nation for customer satisfaction with the auto insurance claims experience. Get award-winning service at njm.com. This isn't just insurance, it's NJM.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Thank you for downloading Sporgy for free on iTunes or from ChristopherMedia.net. Please make sure to rate Sporgy 5 stars on iTunes and help to tell others about Sporgy by leaving a comment. Thank you for following Sporgy on Twitter at Sporgy Podcast and on Instagram at Sporgy_podcast. Please follow Sporgy on Facebook to like and share Sporgy. You can also email the show. The address is sporgy at ChristopherMedia.net. If you would like to donate to Sporgy, you can click on the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net. If you use Amazon.com, please click and bookmark the Amazon link at ChristopherMedia.net. It will not cost you any extra money, and you will help to support Sporgy. If you are looking to launch your own website, please click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Christopher Media uses HostGator to host all of the shows produced by the Christopher Media Network. When you click through the HostGator banner at ChristopherMedia.net and sign up for HostGator, you're helping to support Sporgy. We know that choosing the perfect gift for a man is a difficult task, but not anymore. TheBroBasket.com is here to help. We all know men are hard to shop for, but what do guys actually like? Their favorite alcohol, that's what. It could be craft beer, wine, whiskey, scotch, or tequila. TheBroBasket.com will put it in a gift basket full of their favorite gear and goodies. You can customize your own Bro Basket or choose from a variety of different Bro Baskets, like the Ultimate Import Sampler, the Jack and Coke gift set, or the Junior Executive gift basket. Boozeless, but still cool, Bro Baskets are also available. TheBroBasket.com gives you many shipping options to choose from, including rush delivery and Saturdays. 21 and over, please. State and local laws apply. Beer, wine, and liquor are not available for shipping in all states. You can help to support Christopher Media by clicking through the BroBasket.com banner at ChristopherMedia.net. Men used to be hard to shop for. TheBroBasket.com.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Welcome to Sporgy, the show that gives you half-ass sports fans giving their half-ass opinions. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Rich.
Alrighty. Yeah, set a new record. This is like 4 in a row. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm Chris.
I'm Rich. Good old number 9.
Yeah. No, yeah, this is number 9. I said 8. Whoop, my bad. Number 9.
Yeah.
Who's number 9? Oh, Gordie Howe.
I mean, you got Gordie Howe. You got Maurice Richard. You got Bobby Hall. You got ton of 9s. So pretty much just covered them all.
Yeah, and it's
all that matter in hockey, anyways.
Yes.
Mike Modano.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some famous number 9. You know, any QBs wear number 9?
Oh, dude, come on now. They have to. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. I can't come up with any.
Let's see. Football number 9s. And we get... Wait, I just realized. American football number 9s. All right. A whole bunch of soccer shit came up. All right, here we go. We got a list from Yahoo Answers, so take it for what it's worth there, Internet. Carson Palmer, Steve McNair.
Damn, how can I forget those two?
Tony Romo. Drew Brees.
I guess. Brees.
People
there
in Louisiana going, come on, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
And that's it for anybody we've heard of. I mean, the list is 26 players long.
What about Stafford?
Oh, shit. Like I said, that was anybody who matters. Oh, yeah. Hey, casual sports fans, bottom line. But it is that time of year when, I mean, there's still a couple games going on, right? But All-Star games next week. But hear that? It's a desert wind as far as the sports landscape right now.
Well, the last week's pretty much been dominated by NBA, the last couple days at least. NBA free agency.
You got Wimbledon?
Things that I care less for than the NBA offseason. Wimbledon, the U.S. Open, most of the Olympics.
Although I had another one of those damn you're getting old moments again today. I was watching the Sports Center to get prepped for the show, and they were saying the Williams sisters are the oldest women in the tournament. I don't want to say in history, but the oldest women in the tournament this year. And I remember thinking, like, damn, seems like we were just hearing about they were the youngest women ever in the tournament.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, I mean, shit. What's her face? Maria Sharapova. She got banned for taking a certain heart medication.
Oh, really? She wasn't juicing?
And it's like, what the fuck do you need to take heart medication for? You can't be as old as me, and I know you're in damn better shape. I mean, God knows I'd like her to throw, big Amazon ass to throw me around.
Yeah, I remember when she was the new young hot thing. Now she the new middle age thing? New hot middle age thing?
Man, she's just whatever.
Porn terms that she be a MILF at this point? It's
fine with me. I know everyone was always on Sharapova's, or not
Kornikova?
Yeah, Kornikova's like, oh, yeah. I'll take Sharapova or Kornikova.
I forget, did her and Sergei Fedorov end up living happily ever after, or no?
No. No,
you laugh.
He married her when it was like, that's some R. Kelly shit, bro. Like, I think she was like 14, 15.
Oh, like it was the first dick she ever saw?
And
it sprouted, maybe? And it came $100 bills. She's like, I'll take it.
I think she's with, some fucking singer that used to, I can't remember, Enrique Iglesias or something like that. One of those pop singers. Just a dude who you're like, dude, you don't deserve that. But, whatever. You got money and you're famous, so.
Anna Kournikova, 2016. What does Wikipedia say about her? Or should I say Wikipedia, like Bill Burr says it? Yeah, they supposedly married and separated.
Who?
Her and Enrique Iglesias.
I knew it was
They never officially said they were married, apparently.
I knew it was like him or Mark Anthony or one of those interchangeable, like, pop guys. Like, I got like those two, and then was it Ricky Martin mixed up for a while until Ricky Martin came out as gay, and then I was like, okay, well, that's the only reason I know him.
Ricky Martin was like Clay Aiken, one of those when he came out as gay. We were like, yeah. We knew. We knew. Yep. We knew before you did.
We're glad
one of those like I'm not
glad you know now.
Come out.
This is totally off of sports, but it's a little bit amusing. It's kind of been on a Patrice O'Neal kick, going back listening to a lot of his old interviews and Opie and Anthony and stuff like that. And if you all don't know, Patrice O'Neal, pretty much in my opinion, one of the 5 best comedians ever. Probably the best comedian of his generation, arguably. But anyways, he was talking about George Michael and how shocked he was when George Michael came out as gay. And I think it was Opie said, well, why were you shocked? And he's like, because I never thought of him as gay. And they're like, you didn't think he acted gay? He's like, no, I just thought that's what British people acted like.
Just insulting British people.
He goes, I just thought gay equals British. Like, Jesus.
Kind of.
I don't know, man. We don't. I've seen Green Street Hooligans. We don't need no hardcore soccer fans coming after us. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, but Anna Kournikova, 35 now. Definitely not running into a 35-year-old chick looking like her. Single?
Oh, she's not.
She got money.
Dude, she's not bad looking. It's just, I'll take Sharapova over her. I don't know.
It's because Kournikova got ruined earlier.
No, it's not even that. It's I don't know. It's like trying to explain to the old people in my family who think being gay is a choice. I go, okay, so when did you make the choice not to suck dick? Because it was never a choice to me.
Yeah.
But I never looked at a guy's hairy ass and said, boy, this is rough to turn that down.
I wonder what's going on there. No, it's innate in you. Yeah, not for me.
Yeah, so it's for whatever reason, she does it for me more than Sharapova. Not that I would ever kick Sharapova out of bed for eating cookies, but it's like whatever.
Yeah, but there you go. We managed to we had a tennis conversation. We just had to relate it to our dicks. That's how it goes.
Well, I mean, the one thing I do have to say that I did hear from my fairly tennis-free spot on this planet is that, what is it, Roger Federer is...
That guy's like a machine from what I've gleaned from the rare, the summer news stories on SportsCenter.
Yeah, dude, like, he's still going. Like, he's won the most majors matches, or tied with the most wins for majors matches. And I'm like, dude, is this guy ever going to stop?
Can't stop.
I mean...
Won't stop.
Obviously, his kryptonite is not been found yet, like they found with, like, Tiger.
Yeah, Tiger's mojo is off. I'm telling you. He stopped having sex 100 times a day with random waitresses.
Won't stop. Tiger has to be a man whore to be on top of his game.
I mean,
that's just all there is to it.
It'd be a lot of work right now, but I could make like an Excel spreadsheet of Tiger's performance, how it was affected post, fucking bitches. I'll use that wording on the chart.
Well, it kind of flies in the face of everything that we've always been told about sports, Like boxers, when you're training for the upcoming fight, don't have sex.
But I could see it with that, because boxing's way more primal than golf. Golf's mental. I think boxing is tied to your fucking DNA, and you tap into the guys that are like eating raw meat the week before the fight, like that kind of, like your caveman brain.
I guess.
That could be part of why, and it's, the more testosterone you got, the more you're gonna fucking... I can see that. I can understand it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
I don't know.
Golf is all in the brain, I think Tiger needed I think he needed to be relaxed. How does he relax? By releasing testosterone several times a day in strangers' faces.
Hey, what's your name? It doesn't matter. Come here, Waffle House waitress number 5.
Yeah.
I'll meet you behind the dumpster. Let's fuck even trying to keep it classy.
Yeah, they keep blaming it on his quote-unquote back and quote-unquote knees. They'll be blaming it on his quote-unquote balls.
Well, I guess we actually better get down to some real sports talk, and I guess the biggest story is, of course...
Kevin Durant changing the game, changing the landscape.
Yeah, buddy.
The crazy I'm a casual NBA fan enough to know that that's a huge move. And Andrew Bogut, bye-bye. See ya. You can go to the Mavericks. They made room for... Well, too, he's the guy who's hurt half the damn finals. That's probably one of the things that cost him the title, between him and Mr. Green's antics. Guy had an infatuation with nutsacks for the playoffs. Stop punching people in the balls.
It's like nutsacks are the opposite of whatever like his body's magnetized, and nutsacks have the opposite.
Us Spartan fans are going, hey man, knock that shit off. Like, come on, you're not making us look cool. Well, Durant signing, I'm shocked. Personally, I'm shocked at as many sports articles and fan blogs and opinions that I've seen that are like, fuck him for signing with Golden State. Hey, you know what? Look, this is not the 1970s and 80s anymore, all right? And if you want to get paid, I can't blame you, because the owners have made it abundantly clear that they don't give a shit about you once your value to them is no longer at peak. I think he wants to win too,
and so I can't fault a guy for going after money. Now, if you want to go after championships, isn't that what we are supposed to like? We kind of put this like the honor is in wanting a championship above all else, sacrificing your personal well-being, your family, your health, your this and that, because you want that championship. And that's basically what he's doing. He's like, fuck it, I'm going after that championship. And people are like, well, you're a fucking asshole. You're doing it the wrong way.
That's what LeBron did.
What's
LeBron
the
did the
right
same
way
shit
anymore?
in Miami. He went like, hey, they're offering to put together this superstar team. I want to win a title. Peace. I'm out. And he got 3 out of the deal.
And this shit did not start with LeBron or Durant.
Yeah.
It started with the big 3 in Boston with the Celtics when they had Paul Pierce, McGrady, and who's the other guy? Ray Allen.
Yeah.
They got all 3 of those guys and won a championship. That was 2008. That's when let's get the big 3, quote unquote. 2 years later, the Heat did it. Now Golden State's just like, fuck it, we're going to have the big 4.
Yeah.
That's what we're going for. We're going for the killer quad. So, and hey, if you can do it and you can work it under the salary cap, go for it. it's like they're not breaking any rules. As much as it irks me with teams and coaches like Bill Belichick, who flirt with breaking the rules or finding loopholes in the rules.
Flirt, huh?
Well, no, because, I mean, no, they flat out broke rules, but he also just finds loopholes, and he exploits them.
That's what Americans do.
Pretty much.
We love to exploit loopholes.
My
example is anyone who has a medical marijuana card in any state. Well, most people who have a medical marijuana card in any state.
Yeah, I mean, and if he was a religion, he'd be the Catholic Church, and if he was a country, he'd be America. But, hey, he's the best coach at doing that in the NFL, and that's why he's hated.
I mean, but if you look at Durant's history with Oklahoma, he's probably just tired of just getting. I compare them to maybe a similar team in the last 10 years. Hometown example, the Detroit Tigers. All they could just keep doing is getting close, and they just couldn't do it. And that's kind of what the Thunder have been doing, maybe the last 5 years.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're going to continue on with the or to piggyback on that, I've even heard rumblings from a lot of fans here in Detroit that are like, if they blow up the Tigers, let Miggy go to a team that so he can get a championship. And it's like, that was never an attitude that I remember growing up, but it's an attitude that I've come to understand. Because, look, Mickey's given the best years of his career to the Tigers, and they just cannot get over that hump. And it's not for lack of trying. It's just...
I personally think Dombrowski saw his best days are behind him, kind of like Ken Holland. We had guys in the prime of their career. Well, everyone who has a great career has a downside. And I think, sidetracking the conversation, sorry, but I think that's what was going on there. And maybe that's what's going on in Oklahoma City. Maybe they had some guys that were doing some good things, and now they're on the downside. And, because it's like, if you overanalyze anything too much, you eventually maybe start making the wrong decisions and not realizing it. I don't know. I don't live in Oklahoma City. Don't follow Oklahoma City basketball that much. I just know we've heard their name a lot in the last 5 years in the month of June. So
yeah, and this is a subject that I've been wanting for us to get on, and I was figuring probably it'd be the best time to be around the time of the All-Star break, because that's when we really are going to be scraping the walls and the bottom of the floor for. Unless something ungodly happens, for subjects. But it's easy to be negative in sports, because sports is more about losing and winning when you just look at it from the bottom line. If there's 32 teams, 31 of them are going to lose. They're not going to be the last team standing at the end of the season. Baseball.
They've been co-champions. Not
baseball, yet. Except for the ¡97 national champions in football.
Don't ask any Michigan fans about them.
I'm a Michigan fan. It's a bunch of bullshit. But anyways, in baseball, if you succeed 3 out of 10 times at the plate, you're a Hall of Famer. Think about that. That's failing 7 out of 10 times. You do not do what your job is, which is to get on base. And I think sports reporters in sports and sports fans, it's kind of seeped over into the culture of those two things, because everybody's just constantly negative. And it's like, look, when the Tigers got swept in 2012, I was not a happy fan. However,
none of us were.
However, as soon as it was done and over with, and the sting of them losing was gone, I could look back on a season that entertained me, and that's ultimately what I look to sports to do. If sports were boring to me, like I see so many people say, "Oh, I can't get into sports; it's so boring." Then you know what? Go watch The Walking Dead. I don't fault you for not being entertained by sports. It's not for everyone.
It's not everybody's thing.
Yeah, and ultimately, I was very entertained for the 2012 season. And if you want to consider those 4 World Series games, me being pissed off and screaming at the TV, technically, I guess I was entertained then too, because I don't have to be happy to be entertained.
But you still got to watch October baseball.
Exactly.
A lot of teams weren't. At that point, 30 teams were not.
So, once again, to piggyback on that, you have what Stephen A. Smith said about the Durant thing.
Ooh.
Which, I don't know if you got that queued up. I know that we talked about it a little bit before we started.
I got all kinds of tabs here. Stand by.
Shit, I thought I muted my desktop. Apparently I didn't.
Here we go. He's always good for the actualities.
I don't think this is much different at all from what LeBron James did in 2010 when he went to Miami. Remember, those Cleveland teams won 66 and 61 games. And I could argue that LeBron's struggles at the end of that Boston series in 2010, they were up 2-1 on Boston. Yeah. He was phenomenal in Game 3 and then struggled the rest of the series, and they lost. And then he went to a guy, Dwayne Wade, who had already won the championship and with Chris Bosh. So I understand Steve saying they were up 3-1 on Golden State, and they should have won that. But this is similar, Steve, man. This is very similar, I think, to what LeBron did. So I can't rip KD for this.
Well, I'm not. Listen, I'm not ripping him for leaving. First of all, I'm ripping him for the team that he went to. You're going to the team that beat you when you were 48 minutes away on 3 separate occasions from beating them yourself. It's not that he's leaving Oklahoma City. It's the team that he's going to. And Chris Broussard, you've covered this league too long. I don't know how in God's name you can sit there and say that it's a similar situation to what LeBron experienced
LeBron was the best
in
player in the
Cleveland.
league. LeBron was being compared to Michael Jordan. And you know the criticism LeBron took, which is similar to what you're saying.
Answer my question.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm asking a question.
All right.
Tell me who was LeBron James' teammates. Who are they?
They were good enough to help him get 66 wins.
I asked you a question.
All right.
It's a direct question.
He didn't have a Russell Westbrook. He didn't have a Russell Westbrook.
Keep going.
Hold on, Steve.
Could
they not have beaten Boston?
It's not the same. And not only that, there were more things that were going on in Cleveland on a personal level, which you know just as well as anybody, that influenced LeBron leaving Cleveland too. What's KD's excuse? Are you kidding me?
I'm not going to sit here and let you guys besmirch Boobie Gibson here on SportsCenter. We got to step aside. We got to shift networks and send the Google.
Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah. As it's being described in a few different things, honor temper tantrums, screamed at each other like maniacs. I think what the best thing about that little exchange that came out of it had to do with someone who wasn't even involved in it. The exchange was just about, which was Durant, who apparently went to his Twitter account and was like, basically, fuck Stephen A. Smith and his Uncle Tom opinions. So now he took it down, but it's the internet. So if you can hit print screen and open up Paint, it's saved forever. And if you go look, you'll find it. But
if you got a fucking iPhone, you just got a fucking screenshots are easy on any. You got an Apple product, boom, it's there, it's done.
And in my opinion, I can't fault him. Like I said, man, you play professional sports. If you're a professional athlete, supposedly for 3 things: 1, because you love it; 2, because you want the championship; 3, because of the money. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's be honest. If most professional athletes didn't love what they do, they would just get the 1 or 2 big contracts. And then they just say, peace out, whatever. I'm done. I made my money. I'm good. I'm not going to put, especially like football and hockey players. They're not going to keep putting themselves through that for just for the money for the most part.
Well, Durant's going into his 9th or his 10th season.
Exactly.
He's about to be 28. I mean, for most athletes, whatever sport you're in, that's probably. That's prime. Mm-hmm. Prime. I mean, he has been with this organization for a decade, and I think at this point he feels like I want to win. And
there's some there's things we'll never know because we're not in that locker room. It could be there could be problems with him and Westbrook. There could be problems with him and management, him and the GM. Him and the coach. You never know. You never really honestly know.
And he's made the playoffs the last 6 seasons.
It's like, how do I put this? I never faulted LeBron for leaving Cleveland. I faulted him for how he went about it. It's like, okay, if you're going to be a scumbag and cheat on your wife and leave her for a younger woman, you don't need to rub her face in the fact that you got a hotter, younger piece of ass. That's just being an asshole and having no class.
We'd have a special on ESPN announcing that you're taking your dick. I'm taking my penis to this woman.
Yeah. And it's just, there's no need for it. It's ridiculous. So that was my problem with what LeBron did. Durant just signed. I haven't seen any grandstanding on his part about it. It wasn't any, he didn't sit down at a table for a press conference and have 3 teams' hats in front of him and then fake pick one up and then put it down and pick the other one up real quick and put it on like these fucking high school kids do on signing day for college. He didn't do any of that bullshit. He didn't say, I'm taking my talents.
I'm taking my talents to the Bay Area.
Which now everybody has to fucking say, which is the stupidest shit ever, but whatever. It's just, I feel like there's a lot of backlash at him for not a whole lot of valid reason. And there cannot be that many fucking OKC fans out there to where the whole, NBA fandom is this butthurt over it because they're fans of OKC. It can't be.
It's because we hate on success nowadays. Like, it's, you hear Adam Carolla talk about it quite frequently. It used to be, back in the day, you saw somebody driving in a fancy car, living in a big house. It used to be like, hey, you know what? Work hard, study hard. One day, you can be like that guy. Now, we see that guy, we're like, hey, man, fuck that guy. We're throwing eggs at his car as he's driving by. And it's the same kind of thing with Kevin Durant. People hating on him because the guy wants to win. He sees his best chance to win being with this organization. He's been with this one organization for almost a decade. Getting close, not win it. Was it Mike Singletary? Can't win with him. Won't win with him. Fucking. And he's getting to that point in his career. He's about to be 28. He's like a 6 or 7 time All-Star. He's been to the fucking playoffs 6 or 7 times. He wants it to. At this point, I guess, because you get people that come from that line of thinking of loyalty, Oh, you've been with this organization for 10 years, you turn your back on him. But it comes, maybe personal achievement and pride's coming into play, like, great, and thank you for the opportunities, but they're not willing to do what it takes to win. I want to win. We've had chances to sign all these people, and we haven't. And, you got Russell Westbrook, so you're still going to be all right, but I want to win. And I see a better chance of winning with the Golden State Warriors. And people are just hating on them for that. We're at some point, I don't know what it is. Is it social media? Is it our shifting fundamental attitudes as a society? All of a sudden we used to love winners and success, and now we hate on it, and we snipe at it every chance we get.
Well, it's also this obsession with, oh God, and I hate the fucking term, haters. You don't like it? You don't like someone? You're a hater. No. Okay, look, there are people who are haters in the literal definition, sense of the word. But I am allowed not to like, certain players, and especially in sports. Like, I will never, ever, I don't care if the Red Wings fold and for some please, whatever, gods, whatever that are up there, don't let this happen. I have to move to Colorado, and the only hockey team that I can get on TV is the Anal Munch. I will never root for them. Fuck them. Okay, I hated Joe Sakic. I hated Peter Forsberg. I hated them. I still hate Patrick Waugh. I mean, seriously, I just want to slap that stupid-looking grin off his fucking face every time I see the douchebag. But I respected their ability. Now,
That's how I feel about the Eagles.
And so to some people, I'm a hater. Look, I respect your ability, but you are the bad guys to Detroit Red Wings fans, just as we are the bad guys to you.
I hate you. I don't even know you, and I hate you.
Hate you.
Bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you.
I mean, that's what makes sports so great, is that it's all subjective. It's if you're a Detroit Red Wings fan, you hate the Avalanche. If you're an Avalanche fan, you hate the Red Wings. Right, but there's usually mutual respect there. This is not even respect. This is just, this guy is an asshole. Get on Twitter and wish him and his family like harm. And it's like, really, dude, really. Like, you want to burn his jersey? You paid for it. You're free American and over 21. Burn it all you want. But you might as well just take the $100 you paid for the jersey out your pocket and burn that too. That's stupid. You're just, in the end, you're just destroying something you spent money for.
Enjoy if maybe, well, I guess not to Kevin Durant, but I just wonder if people in that arena, so to speak, the celebrity arenas, the more people who have more notoriety, if social media has just become white noise to them. Because I listened to a few other podcasts, and a lot of these guys, it just seems like, I have a Twitter account, but I ignore it because I don't even want to go down those rabbit holes because people are just insane, and I got better things to waste my energy on. I mean, and that's where I think a lot of people who aren't actively involved in social media, they're probably more voyeuristic. They use it as a you can use it passively as a barometer to take the quote unquote temperature of people about certain subjects. And
But you always have to put in your head that most of the people complaining the loudest are usually in the minority, and they're just because they're yelling the loudest doesn't mean that that's how most people feel. But these days, like we were just talking about, like the game posted a picture of him kissing his like little girl on the mouth, and then people were like, "Oh, child molester!" Oh, okay. It's probably 1 out of every 100 people that saw it, if that much, took the time out to go say something about it. But if you're the game and you read that shit, it seems like everybody's attacking you. One of the best quotes I ever heard about like feeling like more people are against you than are for you was when Stevie Ray Vaughan and his band first went over to the Monterey Jazz Festival and they played, and David Bowie was in the audience, heard him, put him on Let's Dance. David Bowie said, I'd say maybe a quarter of the crowd booed him. You asked the guy, the interviews of Stevie Ray Vaughan and his band, they're like, the whole crowd was booing us. That's just human nature. You hear the negative more than you hear the positive, and I truly believe a lot of these sports guys, they're either their egos are so big that you can't convince them otherwise. They'll look at you and they'll use the old saying, old cliche saying, I'm not cocky, I'm convinced. That's what they'll tell you. So right there, they're delusional. They think they're going to be on top of their game forever. You can't touch them. And then you got people who's probably it affects, so they avoid it. And you got people who are probably just like amused by it, like read it and laugh and go, that's actually pretty fucking funny. But I think the more they expose themselves to it, I can understand them saying they avoid it, because the more you expose yourselves to it, the higher the chance you're going to run across that one person that just really fucking sticks in your craw and you just can't get over what the fuck they said. And then you're just going to start seeing it everywhere. It's like if you're looking to be offended, you're going to find something to be offended about everywhere.
Oh, the internet is a big, wide, offensive place. That's just the part you can get to. Normal people can get to.
And I kind of have a theory on why that is. It's because the generation who grew up with the internet is now reaching adulthood, and they don't know how to not live their life completely online. And since they've always lived their lives online, they see that as, you don't judge me. How dare you judge me? How dare you say I can't do something online? Because they have no sense of, well, maybe I shouldn't be sharing this shit.
This is a generation that never had to sit through a titty coming into focus.
Well, no, okay, look, we grew up without it when we were kids.
Yeah.
All right? And, okay, so if, let's say I have a sexual fetish, I like, lollipops in my mouth and butter up my fucking ass. I'm not going to go online and say that. These fuckers have no problem saying that. And they'll start, like, a community about it. Lollipops and butter or whatever the fuck. It's like the bronies or whatever. The My Little Pony guys who love it, and then they make fan art of My Little Ponies fucking and shit and all this crazy nonsense. And then people look at it and go, that shit's fucking weird. And they go, how dare you judge me for... Don't judge me. You don't have the right. You're a brony phobe. No, dude, you just don't put everything out there for everybody to fucking see.
Or two, why am I not allowed... Okay, I get you're allowed to go out there and do this. Why am I not allowed to react to it? Because it's not something normal to me. Most people, regardless of what the media has portrayed most of this country, like, most people will adjust to things that they haven't seen before. But sometimes when you first see something that you haven't seen before, you might go, oh, holy shit.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Might take you a second to be like, all right, this is the new norm. But you're not allowed to do that anymore. You have to instantly adjust, or you're a whatever phobe.
You're a hater.
Stupid.
You're a hater.
Yeah, back to hating.
Yeah, and I just find it funny that a lot of the same people who defended LeBron and what he did, a.k.a. Stephen A. Smith, are now all butthurt and red-assed about Kevin Durant. And to me, that just tells me that they cannot put aside their fandom and be reporters. Which, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, I like Stephen A. Smith. Put the truth out there. He's an entertaining guy, but he's not the Associated Press. He is Fox News. He definitely has an agenda when he opens his mouth. And I enjoy him for that as entertainment. I don't go to him for unbiased reporting. But shit, I definitely don't watch ESPN for unbiased reporting, period, because ESPN's just turned into nothing but talking heads.
You go to Stephen Smith for biased as hell reporting.
Yeah, that's kind of entertaining. That's what I do. That's how I look at it.
His personality.
Exactly. Literally a talking head.
Yes.
He's okay. I'm here to entertain you. I'm a sports entertainment reporter. He's just like Jim Rome, just like a million other people. To me, unbiased is Joe Buck.
Oh God, Joe Buck is awful. He is so awful. He's a fucking robot. I hate him so much. Like, especially when we're talking about 2012 when the Tigers were doing the World, when made the World Series, and you did listen to Joe Buck because Fox had this World Series that year. Oh, I wanted to just shoot myself all the time. I'd be one of those people. I would turn it down and put on Dan Dickerson. For sure. Like, I'm not going to listen to goddamn Joe Buck. He is so awful. And then every now and then he does the Super Bowl. He's so emotionless.
But that's how you know. That's how you know. Sadly, that's
he's Mick announcer, Mick sportscaster.
And there's his non-bias right there.
Put together in a lab in fucking Atlanta or wherever the fuck Fox is.
Which is hilarious because his father was not that.
Yeah.
Jack Buck was drinking, smoking in the announcer's booth, like old school rough and tumble type announcer. And Joe Buck is
a pussy.
I wish the Joe Buck has a skinny wiener website was still around. That was pretty funny.
Really?
It was just a website that took pot shots at him and did funny like mashups and everything like that. A local morning show that no longer exists around here used to talk about it all the time. So,
and races especially to the 9th annual International Player Haters Ball. Oh man, hey, man, you corny. Next nigga say something while I'm talking is getting shot.
That's your boy Patrice.
So without further ado.
Oh yeah.
I was hoping this would be the one like, hey man, why you gotta have a car, man? Why you gotta have electricity, man? But speaking of red-assed and butthurt over Kevin Durant, you heard about Dwayne Wade in the last day or so? He's pissed.
About Durant?
Yeah, well, he was only offered 2 years for $40 million, and I guess Durant got $50. And Dwayne Wade was like, a couple days ago you were gonna make with the $50 million Kevin Durant and find room for the money. Then you ain't gonna give me that. He's like, I'm not worth that, and I'm kinda on his side about it. He's been with the Heat the whole time. I saw something that he's never been the highest paid player on the Heat. Like been them the whole time. So helped get him 3 rings. Maybe it's the business sense in me. Like, you were going to give the money to that guy. Why don't you give it to me? Maybe now. I think where things are coming into play, or maybe value. Hasn't his knee been? It's been part of it holding him back his whole career. But has it been problematic the last couple of years?
Well, there's that, and the fact that he's going into his 14th season versus going into your 10th season. He's literally on the downside of the bell curve of his prime if he goes the way of most players.
That is true. The horizon, the sun's approaching the horizon for him. I mean, him and LeBron came in the same year. LeBron's got a couple years on him. But yeah.
See, now to me, here's the thing: if Dwayne Wade agreed to take less money to get Shaq into town, and then he agreed to take less money to get Bosh and LeBron into town. All right, and now he's complaining that he's not getting offers of a guy who's at the peak of his prime, arguably, or just about to enter it. Then, dude, you knew, to use the Chappelle Show again, you know where you bought that shirt, and it damn sure wasn't the men's department. All right, you went ahead and you were like, I want these championships, and I want the players around me that's going to help me bring the championship. Pay them what they need to be paid to get them here, and let's do this. I understand you want the reverse of the hometown discount. You want the hometown boost. But once again, this is how come I can't fault players who realize their situation is never going to they can't put themselves in a situation where they can maybe get championships, but they're talented enough to get paid. So they're going to have to go get paid because these owners are not going to be loyal to you. It's not these hoes ain't loyal. It's that these owners ain't loyal. And that's right here is a case in point of it. Miami could just give him the $50 million. I mean, they could give him the $50 million, but they're not going to. I almost guarantee it.
Well, now this is also the Bulls apparently said, "Hey, man, we'll pay you $50 million." And I guess something that 24 hours ago wasn't in play, but now is Cleveland is thinking like, "Hey, Dwayne Wade, why don't you come play over here with the guy you already played with?" So I don't know, man. The Bulls officially have stated it's over with their current roster. They got rid of Derrick Rose. They got rid of Joakim Noah. And get that bench warm, New York Knicks.
Can I just say that I knew Rose was still kicking around. Noah, I had no idea.
Oh, yeah?
Like I was like, really? He's actually had that long of a career?
Speaking of the players you didn't know still kicking around, Dirk Nowitzki about to get a 2-year, $40 million deal, which puts him in the Mavericks uniform till he's 40.
Dude, that is insane. That is insane.
What are these guys doing that have a longer shelf life? Because I remember, when we were little, Kareem was in the league till he was like 40, early 40s. But it doesn't seem like these guys had quite this longevity that they're having now. I mean, you got Nowitzki still playing. Anyone on the Spurs, he's Parker, Ginobili, Duncan still playing.
I think there's a lot more. The training's different, and I think Kareem was kind of at the tip of the spear of that, because he did a lot of training that athletes didn't do back then. He did a lot of martial arts, which involved a lot of stretching, a lot of toning of muscles versus muscle mass. Okay, look at a guy like Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was not a big man. Bruce Lee beat 90% of the people that step up to him ever in the history of the world's ass. That's just all there is to it. But he was also just solid fucking muscle. There's no fat on that man. But if you just saw him walking in regular street clothes, you wouldn't be like, oh, that's a badass right there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it. It's like looking at a lot of the special forces guys. Those guys are built more like your Bruce Lee. Now, there are some big fucking biscuit, 2-liter drinking, I can't scratch my shoulder because of my muscles guys in the military, obviously. But that's the exception rather than the rule these days. And I think a lot of it is to do with training regimens. I think a lot more training is built on lean muscle and lower, body mass, especially on high-impact sports where you run around and your knees are taking a beating like basketball. I mean, Steve Eisman played a couple seasons with bone on bone in one of his knees, and the only reason he could do it is because he's not jumping up and down. I mean, he even said himself, if I played basketball, if I played football, if I played baseball, I couldn't play right now.
Fucking over.
I'd have to retire, So I think that's got a lot to do with it. And maybe it's just also, maybe it's because these athletes these days take better care of themselves. I think back to even the 80s, and you watch some of these documentaries, and man, those guys were fucking some hard-living people. I mean, they liked to party. They were going out to the clubs and this and that. When's the last time you ever heard about Dirk Nowitzki going to the club? I don't think he's lighting it up down there in Dallas. He ain't partying, as hard as the Lakers of the 80s did. I mean, them guys definitely not like the
Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, Jesus. Between the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s and the Miami Hurricanes of the 80s, that's probably where half of the world's cocaine consumption went during those 2 decades.
The strip club looked like a team meeting.
Seriously. I mean, between those 2 teams and Aerosmith, in those 2 decades, that's where half of the world's cocaine consumption came from. Seriously, I wouldn't doubt it. I just wouldn't. So... But yeah, I truly think it is that. I think it is a lot of the conditioning is better. These guys take better care of themselves. Nowitzki just blows my mind because it's just like, dude, you are a gumpy-looking motherfucker.
Yeah, but he's tall and he can shoot.
He can ball, though.
This cat can ball.
I mean, it's no different than, when you hear teams talk about back in the day before they played Christian Laettner, they're like, oh, he's a bitch-ass punk white boy, motherfucking au-fait crack-ass motherfucker. And then they get on the court with him and be like, oh, no, he got game. Oh, shit. But yeah, we thought all rich white boys or upper middle-class white boys, they couldn't keep up with us, but he did. Shit, It blew the doors off a lot of them people. They didn't know, they weren't expecting that. And I mean, it's like Dirk Nowitzki, if I saw him walking down the street, I'd be like, look at that gumpy motherfucker. I wouldn't think professional athlete, but, hey, times are changing, I guess.
This cat can ball, man.
There you go.
So, kind of a local boy, but not really. We gonna bring him up, Mr. Sleepy Sleep in the car while it's sinking into a pond.
Charles Rogers. Something happened?
No, Denard Robinson.
Oh, Denard Robinson. Oh, what? I sent that to you. I didn't read it, but I was like, oh. Hey, you can tell training camp's getting close because the first 3 things under latest news on ESPN.com with the NFL is all court-related, all arrests and court-related thing. That just made me think, like, what happened? Like, 'cause it's been rather quiet in the NFL front. Do these guys realize they got a month left? It's like, it's when you're like August and you're a kid, you realize you only got a month left for summer vacation, so you start doing all the crazy dumb shit.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Like, oh, that's crazy. Let me get caught in the club with a gun or whatever the fuck's going on now. Like,
yeah, him and a female friend apparently were found asleep at the wheel in his vehicle after it went off the road into a retention pond.
He found asleep at the wheel by authorities as his car was sinking into a retention pond. What?
Apparently.
How do you not know you're in the water?
Dude, being an NFL player must be the most tiring job ever. Because weren't we just talking about Charles Rogers just falling asleep on the Tuesday afternoon at a restaurant?
Yeah, a female was also asleep.
Dude, is this like a new drug that we don't know about because we're old now? That the kids are taking? Like, is this what Molly does? Because ecstasy kept me up. And if Molly's just pure MDMA, I don't understand how these people are asleep on this shit.
A police officer determined Robinson wasn't impaired, so no DUI charges were filed. Car was totaled. Authorities didn't observe any skid marks to indicate Robinson tried to hit his brakes. So, like, what is this? Were they, like, on a road trip and were tired and, like, they put the parking brake on? Like, this is what I'm thinking or something, because they were both asleep.
Well, his statement is, I just wanted to let everyone know that I was involved in a single car accident on Saturday night, and thankfully everyone was safe and remained unharmed. I thank God every single day for the opportunities he's presented me with. I'm grateful every morning to wake up healthy. Apparently, you got sleep apnea or something, because you're not getting a good night's sleep. If you're just going to sleep and running off a road and still being asleep after you hit the fucking pond.
I know.
He says, I should not have been driving that later when I was that tired, but again, I'm just glad that everyone was safe. God bless. Apparently, sleep and pizza sliding off the front seat are the NFL players' worst fucking, like, enemies these days.
Who was that? Where the pizza slid off the front seat?
That was Burleson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
he didn't have a compound fracture.
Wasn't it like a hot and ready?
Yeah, but he grew an elbow in the middle of his forearm because he tried to grab a damn pizza as a hot and ready. It's not Cottage Inn. It's not Jets. Let that fucking $5 piece of shit hit the floorboard. Who gives a shit? I'm not getting a broken arm and missing a season over that nonsense.
I know. Is he afraid he's going to have to go buy another one? I just bought this pizza. These are $5 each.
Oh, man. I don't know what the fuck is going... What is going on with people falling asleep in the NFL?
By the way, U of M fans, yeah, he sure is lighting it on fire in the NFL, by the way. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, shoelace? Yeah.
Man.
Dude, seriously, did anyone think that he was going to?
Man, when he was playing at Michigan, fucking yes.
I'd never
Michigan
thought
slappy thought he was the next best, he was the next great thing, and he was going to go on to this prolific NFL career.
That I must not be a Michigan slappy.
Oh, yeah, it was ridiculous, and it's like, no, he's a shitty quarterback. And I think he tried that quarterback mess for like half a season, and they realized, no, you're a running back. It's like, yeah, most people in Michigan knew this a few years ago.
Yeah, and on top of that, tie your fucking shoes, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus. But yeah, I didn't think he was going to be like...
Really speaks to your discipline that you don't tie your shoes. But anyway.
Well, never thought he was going to be like a great quarterback in the NFL. Never even thought he was going to be a great pretty much anything in the NFL. I thought he'd be, second, third string, maybe practice squad.
I thought he'd end up as a receiver.
Well, I mean, I thought that Tebow was going to turn into, the kind of what they do these days. A lot of teams do. They have the tight end / fullback position. I thought maybe that that was going to happen with Tebow. It didn't. So I don't know. Then they must have saw something in his game that said you're better at running back than you are. Maybe he doesn't have that good of hands. I don't know. Didn't really follow him out after his career at Michigan. Who drafted him? And they told me, and I was like, okay, his career's over.
Yeah. Hey,
Jacksonville? Yeah.
He got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, you mean the third no one gives a fuck team in the state of Florida? Gotcha. Okay. Because it definitely goes Dolphins, Bucks, Jaguars in Florida.
Speaking of Florida, what do you think of the Panthers? The moves that they made down there. Apparently, it's been touted as they're trying to build themselves a title, bring themselves a title to wherever the fucking Panthers play. Is that Miami?
Yeah, that's Miami. I think they're still going to play. This is just my opinion. I guess you could say my Steve Yzerman bias is showing, but I think if you talk to anyone who's way more knowledgeable about the NHL than myself, down to people like me, they'll tell you that Steve Yzerman has proven he's one of the best executives in the league at the moment. I think Florida is trying to stock the cupboard and buy themselves a chance at championship. I mean, they're definitely making moves to be in the talk of contention, but there's a big difference between being talked about as a contender and being an actual contender. Just ask any Detroit Tigers fan. I mean, every year, for the last 7 or 8, except for this year, it was somebody high up was picking the Tigers to go to the World Series. This is the first year that they were like, no, not going to happen. But I see Florida as an afterthought for the NHL teams in Florida. I hate to say it because Tampa's turned into a hell of a rival to the Red Wings, but I think in the East, Cup, Pittsburgh won it, but I think Cup's going to have to go through Tampa this year. That's just my opinion. So
Rich's way too early NHL 2017 prediction.
Yeah, well, I mean, once again,
last season at the Joe.
Yeah, well, honestly, I forgot how much of a piece of shit that place was. I went. What was it? Last season before, I went to a game for the first time in a decade, and was like, had to sit up in the upper bowl. And was going up them steps of death and was like, this is some bullshit, man.
Yeah, 20, 30 years ago, that place was great. Now?
But yeah, just like, all right, I think the Panthers are making better moves, but they're not making moves enough for it to be on my radar. But I think they're making better moves than, let's say, just to stay close to home, the Red Wings did. The Red Wings made a bunch of signings to go, hey, look, we still are trying, but they're not contenders. I mean, that's just all there is to it. They're signing role players.
They'll just keep the playoff streak alive, is what you're saying.
I think Holland's trying to buy himself another season and maybe the inaugural season of the new arena, which I don't see why it makes a difference because the salary cap's not going to go up that much to where he can go back to being the Ken Holland of 2002. It's just not going to happen.
No, man. Hey, man, we all, the boss saying about it, man, we all have those glory days. I think Hollands are behind him.
But
we all have that downside of our career where maybe we don't make the best moves, or maybe, it's a new league and maybe your way of thinking doesn't work in the new league, and who knows? Could be a bunch of things.
But, if we want to, I guess, go with the sport that's still actually being played and the last to talk about maybe tonight.
Hey, real quick, there's 64 days, 14 hours, 57 minutes, and 50 seconds to the 2016 NFL first game kickoff.
There's 100 days as of today till the NHL. So yeah,
I found a timer online.
Yeah, so we're about the halfway point of the season.
Yeah.
And just pulling up the standings. In the AL East, you got Orioles. You have the Red Sox 2 games behind. You have the Jays 2.5 games behind. And then I think you can safely say, short of a Moneyball type miracle, the Yankees and the Rays are out of it with being 7 and 13 behind, respectively. In the Central, you got the Indians in first. Tigers 6.5 games behind. I don't think the Tigers have actually beaten the Indians.
What I'm looking at right now, it says the White Sox are in first.
Really?
Wait, stand by. Ignore everything I just said. It was the pop-up menu putting the teams in order. I have the standings up now.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you got Tigers 6.5 games, Royals 7 games back, White Sox 7.5 games, and the lowly Twins 23 games out of first.
Well, so looking at this, it's anybody's division except for the Twins. I mean, it's the Indians, quote unquote. But right now we're still in the, pardon me for saying so if you're a baseball fan, but we're still in the nobody gives a fuck part of the season of baseball. We don't get into the, me personally, I don't get into starting. I care in April and I care in August, if that makes any sense to anybody. Because
I'm sure it does. Because
it's that grueling. It's just that part of the summer where it's like, Jesus, like, it's crucial game 99, or no, I'm sorry, that's too high of a number. Crucial game 72 of 162. It's a grueling part of the season right now. You got 3 teams all relatively the same games behind, so you could still call it anybody's division in the Central. the Twins.
I would say with the way the Indians are playing, short of a massive choke job, they pretty much have the Central wrapped up.
These fucking Indians.
That's just I know, but you got the Cavs that they poured 50 gallons of fresh hope down their throats, maybe. Who knows? And then in the AL West, you got the Rangers, who, man, I have to respect what Nolan Ryan's done out there. He has quietly built a team that is just always in it. I mean, they got the best winning percentage in the fucking AL, and I don't think they get enough credit, like, for what they've done. But anyways, besides that, you got the Astros, who I'm shocked they're not doing better, but they're 7.5 out, and the Mariners are 8.5. Athletics and Angels are 15.5 and 18.5. Angels is kind of shocking. Angels spend a lot of money to be that far out of first place. Mm-hmm. Lots of money. Nationally, you got the Nationals in the NL East, the Mets and the Marlins, 4.5, 6.5, and then the Phillies and the Braves.
Braves, yeah. Thanks for playing, Braves. See you next year.
See you next season. Central, you got the
Cubs. 5 All-Stars, apparently, coming up to the All-Star game next week.
Dude, Cubs, when they signed Epstein after he got cut from, or he was let go from Boston, I was like, he's really good at taking teams who, I mean, he took Boston, who's always like an also-ran, and he turned them into multiple World Series champions.
A lot of baseball left, though, man. There's still half a season left.
Yeah. I mean,
remember the Mets from a few years ago, who went into September, the bells of the ball, so to speak, and came out the end of it, choke artists?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
By the way, this is coming out later on, but as of recording this, 11-1, Cleveland. Bottom of the 8th.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Detroit cannot beat Cleveland. That's why it's going to have to be the Sox. It's going to have to be the Sox and the Royals beating up on Cleveland, and Detroit dominating the Royals and the White Sox. And I just don't see that happening for them to get the Central. That's just, it doesn't make any sense. But anyways, so you got the Cubs, you got the Cardinals. Cardinals are just, Cardinals are like, I look at the Cardinals like the Red Wings of the MLB. They're just a class.
So the Yankees.
Yankees are just, I know everyone.
The Yankees will buy themselves a World Series, or they used to with Steinbrenner, and the Wings kind of were doing the same thing there for a while.
Yeah, but the Yankees, I look at the Yankees, and you got to look at the Yankees' history. And if you look at it in the NHL, the Wings don't have that history. They have a strong history, but that is Montreal. That is the Canadiens. They are the Yankees of the NHL. They're just not winning right now. But people forget that the 80s and half of the 90s, neither were the Yankees winning. I mean, they weren't doing shit, for a good 15-year stretch. Mm-hmm. And what's it been? 93 was the last time Montreal won it. I mean, so yeah, it's a little bit longer of a stretch, but for teams that go back this far, it's not that unusual to have stretches like this. I mean, you start getting into the 30-year plus area, then that's when you start talking like, oh shit, like that's when you start talking Cubs and Red Sox and curses and shit like that. Pirates, who I'm not an NL guy at all whatsoever, but I'd like to see the Pirates do well, but I don't know. They're playing just barely 500, so I think they're pretty much.
Who'd have thought the Cubs are the best team in the league right now? The fucking the lowly ass bullshit ass Chicago Cubs are the best team in the league right now, winning percentage wise.
The lovable losers.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Like you said, it's still only the halfway point.
Stories about that fucking goat again.
Yeah, I know, right? And round it out, you got the Brewers and the Reds. In the West, I don't think this is really any shock. You got the Giants. You got the Giants and the Dodgers up near the top. Dodgers are 5 out, and then the Rockies, Diamondbacks, and Padres. They're all between 14.5, 16 games out. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we're gonna talk about mid-season stuff, I'm definitely, like I said, I don't know, man. This is just a gut feeling here. I think it's definitely going to be out of the Central, the Indians, and I don't think the Tigers are gonna make the playoffs this year. And I think it's you're probably gonna have one wild card team come out of the Central, and I'm gonna say probably the other one's gonna come out of the AL East. So
we need a sound effect for Rich's bold predictions.
I mean, just watching teams that aren't mine casually, like I I think the Rangers are just solid, like they always are. Astros, I wish they'd do something a little bit more. Before the season started, I did make that. I didn't say they were going to win the World Series, but I was like, don't sleep on the Astros. And I mean, they're hanging in there, but 7.5 out. That's same record as the Tigers, and the Rangers have the best record in the AL. So they're going up against even a bigger deficit than the Tigers are. So, but yeah, and then National League, what I kind of want to see happen, I want to see the Nationals go to the World Series. I want to see if
shut up about Bryce Harper
and Scherzer. Yeah, let's see what he does for a fucking different team during the postseason. Because I'm kind of wondering if he's actually worth all that money. Because so far he's been pitching like he is, and he made the right move in my opinion. He went from the AL, which is stronger batting teams, to the NL. I think. Excuse me.
Went from having to worry about 9 guys to 8 guys.
Yeah, I think most of the time when you see pitchers come from the NL to the AL is when you start seeing dominant pitchers go into middle of the rotation guys. But he made the right move. He was the top of the rotation guy, arguably the ace of the staff.
Last year here, no doubt he was ace of the staff.
I mean, I think the only reason that people would argue that he wasn't was just because of Verlander's contract, not because of the way Verlander was pitching at that point in time at all. Because you get some people who think what you get paid dictates your position on the team.
Somewhat, but you're right. It's performance. The year Scherzer's last year, he was fucking lights out, man. He said, "Oh yeah, you take your Cy Young and shove it up your ass. All right, check this shit out." He turned it on for I've always wondered if guys can turn it on or turn it off for a contract year. I've always thought that's kind of like maybe a half truth to that, and maybe more bullshit than what it's touted as. Because, I mean, if you could turn it on and off, why would you just turn it on all the time and maximize your fucking earning potential? But that's just me.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is that. But also, if you're just 100% all the time, you'll burn out quicker.
That's true. You end up like Joel Zumaya.
Yeah. Going out there and, I don't know, he was such a phenom. I'm sure people have to remember him that are even casual baseball fans from 10 years ago. But the one thing I didn't like about him was every time he threw a pitch, you could see him no matter where he was at, home or away, he looked to see what the radar gun said. Mm-hmm. And it got to the point where, they were talking about, certain parks have hotter guns than others. And if he wasn't hitting 100, 101, 102, it would fuck with his head. And he'd throw harder. And next thing you know, he threw so hard he blew out his fucking arm. And what, three seasons?
Yeah, he flamed out quick. I mean, there was they did a couple stories on him last couple months because they've been celebrating the 2006 Tiger team. And yeah, there's a couple times he threw so hard, he snapped a tendon in his wrist, and one time something happened with his knuckle or some shit because he threw the ball so goddamn hard. And the human body has limits apparently, and he reached them. Yeah,
there's you can only put so much torque on your joints and your tendons before shit starts giving, and that's that's what happened. He was a freak of nature, but eventually, hey, you're going to hit that wall. That's just...
Hey, man, he made his money. If he was smart about it, he's just fine.
For what I hear, he's like Forrest Gump. He invested his money and he owns a fishing company.
I mean, he had at least a couple of years while he was here. He had a 7-digit deal. So, I mean, he did all right.
Oh, God, yeah. And, I mean, dude, I'm pretty sure if he came back here, 1 month out of the year, not even all at once, just, out of the years, equals 1 month he was here doing autograph signings, people would come out and get his autograph, just like Mark Fidrich.
Yeah, just come to Tiger Fest every February.
Yeah, do a couple spot signings during the season or in the off season out here, and people will come and they'll pay, they'll happily pay $10-15 for a signed 8x10.
And go back to being isn't he like a fisherman in San Diego or some shit like that?
Yeah. From what I heard a interview with him and on a local sports show, and yeah, that's what he said. He said he invested his money, and he's like Forrest Gump. I invested my money, and now I own a fishing company.
Fucking now he left the rat race. That's what I'm doing. I can't wait. Oh, done it now, really. Kinda. I've just, I've had enough of the rat race, and I have these opportunities to leave it, yet still make income, so I'm fucking taking them. Maybe it's a little midlife crisis-y, but I don't care.
It's better than buying a fucking Miata, dude.
Yeah.
It's better than being that douchebag. It's better than going to Hair Club for Men.
Yeah. Like, I don't have to I don't have to report to a cube anymore. What's fucking wrong with that?
Nothing at all.
The money's still going to show up? Fucking I'm in. But anyway.
But I think the one last thing we should talk about as far as baseball goes is forgive the cheesiness of what I'm about to say, the sleeping giant in the room, which is the Giants, who quietly became basically the team of the early 2000s and 10s.
That's true. There's a lot of rings in San Francisco last few years. Not cock rings, by the way. And
they, I don't know if it's because they're not in L.A. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you had the Sox, I know if you had the Yankees, if you had the Mets doing this, we would constantly hear about it, how they're the new dynasty, but you really don't hear that a whole lot. Maybe hardcore baseball circles you do, but it's just like for 5 seasons? They won in 2010, 2012, and 2014. So
now, do you think it might perhaps be because you got a little bit of the maybe a little bit of tainted view with the association with Barry Bonds? Yes, no, maybe. Am I out of my mind?
I don't think people hold any ill will towards the Giants because of Bonds. I mean, did he really? I mean, I know he was hated by reporters, but you think he was that hated to where he could just taint an entire organization?
I think he's viewed as, he's universally viewed as a cheater. Like kind of how when you say O.J. Simpson, first thing comes to mind is murderer. I mean, say Barry Bonds, first thing comes to mind usually is cheater. My opinion, that's what he's become associated with,
So you think that they're looked at as like enablers?
Perhaps, maybe they looked the other way, like, fuck it, we're winning. Maybe that's taking some of that, but too, we're in the middle of the country. Maybe we're way off. Who knows?
I don't know, man. I just know that I remember the late aughts. Is that the 2000s, whatever? Basically from 2004 to 2009, it was just Red Sox wall to wall anytime baseball was brought up. Yeah. And I understand that the four-letter network, the Red Sox are basically in their backyard, but still, they had a lot of big. You look at 2014, there was a lot of big personalities on that team, and even the team that won in 2007, you had Papelbon, who was doing like the Lord of the Dance shit out there in his fucking underwear. On the field after winning and shit. And, you had that, I guess, mystique that went with the team. With the Giants, it's just like they just quietly hey, it's just what I do, man. We just win. That's just what we do. Which I think that is a fallout of having Bonds out there for so long. I think the organization's like, yeah, we're not going to put up with a bunch of bullshit. They put up with, who was the reliever with the big beard? Wilson?
Brian Wilson.
Yeah, they put up with him for a while, and then he just, nope, we're good. The minute you start slipping, we're not putting up with your nonsense later.
Yeah.
Freak Lincecum, well, he just fell off, but...
Yeah, he was, as a former fantasy owner of Tim Lincecum, the plane crashed into the mountain real quickly with that guy.
Yeah, so... But yeah, I don't know, so far, nothing has really got me jacked up this season, like, for baseball. There's no holy shit, I'm really shocked by any team. So it's pretty much gone as I expected it to go. So
unless you're a Minnesota Twins fan.
Well, part of my problem is I really don't like any other team in the Central. I still don't like the Blue Jays for 87.
Damn. Yeah, that's
all
true.
Right?
They fucked everything up. I remember that.
So
we took the pennant, we faced them in the playoffs, and we went out the first round, didn't we?
Yeah. And that was supposed to be the year where we weren't we didn't need the bless you boys, help from a deity to win.
I remember
we were just supposed to win. We were just supposed to win. So
Topps cards had the wood finish. It was like a bat.
Oh yeah. I had that complete collection that year.
Yeah, I had a lot of them as well. Yeah, that was. Didn't the Twins end up winning the World Series that year?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and just another reason I'm not a real big fan of the Twins.
Yeah, I got proof I used to be more than a casual sports fan.
Well, when you're a kid, man, you're not distracted by females and jobs and bills, so you have a lot more energy and willpower to put into following sports.
Remember the sticker books?
Oh yeah, dude. When I moved, I had to throw a few of them away, and I literally even though I wasn't on a time limit, I sat down and flipped through them all.
I had him for each league. I had him for NBA, NHL, NFL, and baseball. And I think the ones I kept up the most with were that I had multiple years of were the baseball and hockey.
Yeah, well, that's something I try to explain to people no matter where I've lived in the country. Surprisingly, I even had to explain to people in New York. Like, my family wasn't a big football family. So I got into football on my own at a older age than most kids do. That's why we were more of a college football family. Like, my family would watch the Wolverines, but they never watched pro football. Mm-hmm. And then when I moved to Florida, all my friends were watching the Creamsicle Yucks. So I ended up watching, the Bucks and became a Bucks fan. Came back up here and was like, hey, I'm going to watch the Lions. And after about a season or two of that shit, I was like, okay, I'm going to fuck this. At least Tampa Bay sucks, and they don't give us that false hope. The Lions in the 90s were constantly, doing the Lucy, holding the football. But where Tampa Bay was Lucy and would pull it away every time, up until the late 90s, Detroit would actually hold it there every once in a while, so it gave you that false hope.
Ever think we would refer to the Wayne Fonte years as like the glory years?
God, no, not Cocaine Wayne. God, no. People hated him, and that is the best coach they've had in our lifetime. By far the best coach.
Yeah, he was so hated. He was such a divisive figure. And now we long for a coach like, hey, what's Wayne doing? He's still alive? Let's bring him out of retirement.
Probably
the coach the Lions.
Probably the coach that comes closest to that would have been Schwartz, but he pulled when he went to Buffalo as their D coordinator, and he beat us back here in Detroit, and they carried him off the field. I think that soured a lot of people on Schwartz, so I think...
Well, why would you celebrate that? Why would you celebrate beating your old loser team?
Because I think Schwartz thinks he got a raw deal. And I think he convinced his players to play with a chip on their shoulder. And it's because it's once again, it's that disrespect hater card. We got haters. Haters are going to make us famous. You're being disrespected. You're not being given the respect that you deserve, And if we go there and we lose to the Lions, we're never going to hear the end of it. So go in there, win. And they were like, all right, let's carry him off the field. Fuck these guys, But I mean, if he hadn't have done that, I think he would be the second most beloved coach in our lifetime. I think it just by default now falls to Mariucci. Just because I don't really think people hated Mariucci. They just were like, you just kind of are there. You're not a morning wig. You don't take the fucking win instead of the ball in overtime. You're not Marinelli, who was just way over his head.
I think Mariucci's just one of those guys who was as good as the people you put around him if you just looked at his coaching career.
Well, Mariucci had one thing going for him, and that's a lot of women thought he was good looking, so he got a pass. Ooh, he's got the pretty blue eyes. And I'm like, well, that's what I look for in my football.
Didn't he like best friends with Izzo or something? They went to college together?
I think so, yeah.
What does Schwartz think he got a raw deal? He had 4 years. Most programs nowadays, you get 3 years, and that's it. You had 3 years, or you had 4 years. You had almost half a decade. At some point, are we bringing that all back around to the Kevin Durant conversation? Isn't it about performance a lot of times? Hey, you got close, but not working out for us. Have a good one. The organization was being Kevin Durant in this scenario.
Well, I don't know. Schwartz was just to me, he was just a fucking typical meathead coach, man. Shit like, don't say we're scared. Don't say we're scared. Like looking for that sound bite, to put up on his bulletin board material. And I don't know, he's just a try hard. And I get trying hard to win, but it's like once again, I have such an issue. That's why I don't like a lot of Spartans fans these days, because they still want to play that we're the underdogs. We got that chip on our shoulder. Disrespect. Fuck you. You're not.
Good for like 10 years. I'm with you there.
Stop trying to play the underdog.
Put some swagger in your step now, son.
Stop being the victim here. You're not a fucking victim. If you want to get right down to it, you haven't been since Hart called you little brother. That's been fucking a decade ago.
But you could argue that that card gets played because you always have asshole Michigan fan like, well, you want to talk about the last 100 years? You got those assholes out there.
Oh, we're going to get into it now. Fuck that. Because I'm tired of these fucking state fans coming out with, I don't want to hear about ancient history. Oh, I'm sorry. You only want to hear about the last, 7 years? So it's okay to talk about the last 7 to 10 years, but you don't want to hear about the time before that, And I'm like, no, look, you want to look at modern? Okay, fine. You've owned our asses. Congratulations. But if you want to talk all time, sit down. You're not even fucking, yeah, we've upgraded you from the back of the plane to like business, but you ain't in first class yet. Give it a couple more, you know.
But Rich, what I'm saying is that attitude is what still gives you the little brother attitude, the underdog attitude.
Well, you know, it's like we got the local guy. For people who don't know, we have a local guy here, probably the most well-known sports talk guy here in Detroit at the moment. He's a Michigan State grad. He's actually from Syracuse, New York. So you got the fucking Guido attitude mixed with the I don't know, the inferiority complex of going to Michigan State when they really were fucking like getting their ass handed to them. And because I think he went after they went to the Rose Bowl in the late 80s, didn't he?
I think he graduated in like 2002 or something like that.
Wow, that recently? I thought he graduated in mid-90s.
Dude, that's 15 years ago. That's almost. I mean, that's...
Yeah, he is younger than us.
Yeah.
Talking about Mike Valenti, by the way, if you want to look him up. He has the infamous make plays rant. I'll just leave it at that.
It's so great. It's such great listening to. I think it's because it's the part of me that's a Lions fan that loves that speech.
Who's calling plays? H&R puffing stuff? I mean, it is a good rant, I have to give him that. But like, I think really he's what's giving you guys your balls back as Spartan fans, more so even than to play on the fucking field. Because you have an advocate in it where you feel you never had one, even though you got guys like Caputo who went to state, and he begrudgingly gives like the Wolverines their props, but he tries hard not to be a homer. Valenti's just a fucking homer, and he's just pumped you guys up. And it's like... I don't want to talk about the past. Let's talk about the last 10 years. What the fuck? Come on, dude. That don't even make sense. Come on now. It's like a buddy of mine who's a Nebraska fan wants to talk about look at all our history. Oh, really? Well, I'm a U of M fan, winningest football program in the history of college sports.
Well, I think I just thought of the perfect rebuttal for that argument.
Which is?
Let's say if you tried to do that with racism. Like, go to black people. Hey, man, let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about the last 10 years. You would be told to shut the fuck up immediately.
You're arguing my point for me.
No, I'm saying, yes, I found the rebuttal that you should use. I wasn't saying rebuttal to your argument. I was saying what you should use. Because, yeah, I'm shutting myself up. You're right.
Look, more power to you. I'm not a state of Michigan guy. I've never said that.
We got to take what we can get. All right? Is that what you want to hear?
Enjoy it because everything runs on a cycle.
Yep.
And like a wheel turns, you're not always going to be at the top, but you're not always going to be at the bottom. Unless you're a Cubs or Lions fan. I would say Cleveland, but they actually pulled out of their nosedive. So
yeah, and right now, well, if you're a Cubs fan right now, fucking take that shit and take it while you can, because you never know. I mean, wasn't it the whole Bartman situation? Don't you remember the infamous email that Drew left his boss about needing tickets to the World Series in Chicago? Yeah, I'm going to need Monday off because I'm going to the World Series. And yeah, I love when he listens back to it. And another local sports guy he's from Chicago, and he called his boss before the Bartman incident in 2003. Sounded like he'd had a few drinks and was talking about how he's going to need time off to go to the World Series. And every time he listens back to it, he's like, "Oh, just shut up, you idiot! Shut up!" That's why, dude, when I watch sports, I'm not a shit talker until the game's done. Then I'll talk some shit, or before the game starts. I'll talk a little bit of shit before the game starts. But during the game, no. Last year's Michigan versus State game. That's all I got to say. That's why I didn't talk shit during the game. Yeah, I know, right?
Because
it sticks in your craw, doesn't it, that game?
Oh, Jesus Christ. And what really bothers me is that the State fans were like, oh, that wasn't luck. I'm like, that's all that was.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's all that was.
That was bad defense and a stroke of lady luck.
Exactly. Get the fuck out of here. That wasn't luck. Give me a fucking... Like, that was skill. Like they drew up that play, and it went just the way we drew it up. Get the fuck out of here.
All right, guys. We're running whoopsie-daisy. All right, on 3. Play's called. Oh, shit.
All I know is that I hope I'm not an insufferable Michigan fan, but I probably will be, considering that my co-host, who I'll have to refer to like such the week of the Michigan State game, I'll probably be like, I won't even call you by your name. I refuse to call you Chris. I'll just be like, hey, co-host.
Hello, co-host. Hello, fellow podcaster.
Sparty, how you doing, Sparty?
Ready for the athletic contest this weekend.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. Do we even want to try to do an on-air bet for that?
Oh, we could. Oh, we must.
we got to get a third person in here in on this somehow before we do that. So that's all I'm saying. We just have to.
No one wants to do it. I try. Apparently, we're the only people out of the people I know that like sports enough to talk about it every week.
Oh, no, I have a few friends that are like, I can do it, but I can't do it every week. And I'm like, can I get you on a rotation? How about every second and fourth week of the month? And we'll get someone to do every first and third. Nope. And I'm like, all you need to do is just give you an hour or two, 1 day a week.
People are like, man, you want me to do like work and shit?
How much am I going to get paid? That's my just go, yeah. You know what? Never mind. This ain't for you.
Yeah, I know. We need to get some income. Come on, people. Hit the donate button on ChristopherMedia.net. Or just click through our things. You can do that. Go to the Amazons. We got a link. Click through it. It doesn't cost you nothing extra. We get a little bit of loot, Just everything I say at the beginning with the little spot that we got. But we'll get there. There's some things that, some pay-per-click things we could probably do with like the NFLshop.com and all that fun stuff. And man, think about this too. We've been talking an awful lot of football. It's summertime. Oh man, I can't wait. Like it's the summer is bittersweet because now I'm like, oh, it's July 4th. Oh man, by the end of the month we'll be talking training camp.
Yep, dude.
Less than a month, we'll be talking about preseason NFL games. Yes, they suck, but the fact that they will be going on, I'm excited. My Y chromosome is excited.
I'm already like, even if you don't have HBO, I'm going to give you an HBO Go login because we're going to spend half of each podcast talking about
Hard Knocks.
Training camp bearable for me anymore. I don't know if you ever watch Hard Knocks, but it's fucking great because you just see all the nonsense behind the scenes. And who's it going to be this year? Oh, it's going to be the LA Rams.
Oh, that's right.
So
the only team their home crowd will be like a visiting crowd.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No one's an LA Rams fan. LA's not. I mean, it's the joke on LA is, and I guess it's true to some extent, is nobody's from LA.
Not really. I mean, it is basically a city of transplants. So.
Yeah, I guess you go out there, and I mean, there'll be like a Pittsburgh Steelers bar. There'll be a fucking Cleveland Browns bar, New York Jets bar. It's where all those people can go to. So, yeah, Rams game should be interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess that market's big enough to support a team, but it doesn't seem like they haven't had a team for 20 years, and it doesn't seem that it's really bothered them. It just seems like this was more of a business deal than anything to put the Rams there. Like, the owner was just like, I'm not getting the terms I want. Peace out, I'm going to L.A. It doesn't seem like L.A. was, like, frothing at the mouth for a team.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know. I honestly, when's the last time they had a team? The Raiders? Yeah. I wasn't even that much of a football fan back then, so I can't even speak on how rabid of a fan base that was, if at all.
The only reason the Raiders were on my radar is because like Ice Cube was wearing them and shit,
Yeah, all the guys in NWA.
Yeah, and they had Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl, and he was always good for running touchdowns.
What play are you going to run with Bo Jackson? The Bo Jackson play?
Yeah, the one where he just runs. All you had to do with Bo Jackson was run to the outside, left or right. You usually had to shake a defender or two. You hit that B button or whatever one it was that gave you the stiff arm, and bam, you were gone. I made him my kick returner half the time.
Didn't even give a chance to get the offense on the field, huh?
Hell no, I'd have like triple-digit return yards half the time.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Special teams just dominate, period.
Oh, Tecmo Bowl. Man, there's emulators out there. I got to play that again. But anyway, we've rambled on enough, haven't we?
Yeah, well, I guess we better call this one a wrap here.
Yeah, it's going to be a long one. That's good, though. But, yeah, hopefully nothing will happen in between now and when I post this. But, you never know. The Olympics are going to... Should we even... that's going to be happening, in 2 weeks. When's the last time you even gave a fuck about the Olympics? Ever? And I think I cared before my voice sounded like this, and that was about it.
I don't know, dude. We're going to have to see. I usually watch, when it comes to Olympics, Summer Olympics, I usually would watch maybe diving, swimming. That was about it.
Isn't the Olympics really the only... every 4 years, nationalism is okay? Isn't that what it really is?
I guess.
Every 4
years, I don't know.
It's okay for the whole world to just, rampant, ugly nationalism. USA! A lot of that'll be going on.
Well...
Sold a record number of flags this year, so you never know. I saw that on July 4th on the news. Oh boy, I just wonder how many of those were spurned by Mr. Drumpf.
Oh God.
But see, now it's a good spot to end. So now we're going to stray off and do different territory.
Yeah, and I got to use the bathroom.
That hurts coming back. I don't know. It's crazy.
Maybe. Hopefully hopefully one of our super fans is actually of the old podcast has actually decided to listen to this one, and she might be out there and picking up what we're laying down.
Yeah, no promises. But just things are percolating, refiring up an old podcast. But thank you for listening to this podcast. Thanks for the retweets. It's funny seeing all the people that retweet us every week. So thank you. It's some Arizona. We're reaching. We're getting there. You know, we're starting out. You know, we're in our first dozen episodes here. Finally got 4 in a row out. We set a record for consecutive shows.
Well, you know, Arizona, huh? I know a few people out in Arizona. I wonder if they actually, decided to join in. You know what I'm saying?
I get some love from some NHL fan sites, so it's all good. At Sporgy Podcast on Twitter, Sporgy _podcast on Instagram. We have a Facebook page. I don't know, Facebook, even Instagram too. Anything Zuckerberg's been touching lately is turning to shit. Like, they keep changing the algorithms on everything and making them a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's how come I actually, it's not that I joined Twitter, but I actually went to the hassle of resetting my password from when I joined in 2013 and just never did. Like, I think I got hacked by like Al Qaeda or ISIS because it was just
a Twitter egg.
No, it's not now. No, now it's a picture of me in my Probert jersey, and I got a Probert picture as my cover photo and all that. But I think, like, I'm not even joking. I think my account got hacked by like someone in the Middle East because all my followers and all the people that I was following was like in Arabic. And I'm like, I don't know any of these fucking people. So I just went and deleted everything basically and started over from scratch. And my Twitter account is just basically pure sports. That's what I'm following.
It just seems for podcasts in general, it seems like Twitter's a way to go. I mean, I still pay attention to the Instagram and still post on everything, but it's just, as far as, if we do investment versus return, Twitter, thank you for the love. We're almost up to like 2,000 followers on their Twitter account.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I don't put it out. This is the first time I'm even mentioning I have a Twitter account. And I got 10 followers, and I feel like fucking Katy Perry. So, ooh,
90 million followers.
We're gonna get contacted by their lawyers and with a cease and desist, dude. Come on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, you can't trademark. Ooh.
Yeah, it's the thing is, they're so part of the local culture and vernacular. If you're a male that grew up around here in the last 25 years, it's like subconscious. You don't even realize you're doing it.
Dude, seriously, anytime someone says the word feces, all I hear in my head is feces.
Yeah.
I don't call her Aretha Franklin. It's Urethra. It's urine. It's just, yeah.
Well, I got myself on another podcast going, cut it out, or whatever,
Cut it out, Joseph.
Yeah. But, yeah. It's love. You've had an impact on the local culture. But anyway, thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week.
All right, later, guys.
If you enjoy this show and want more people to know about it, head on over to iTunes, leave a comment, and rate it 5 stars. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Just search for Christopher Media. Thank you in advance for supporting Christopher Media by clicking on the PayPal button and by clicking through to all the sponsors who support ChristopherMedia.net. Most importantly, we would like to take the time to extend an extra special thanks to you. Christopher Media could not exist without your support. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net, and thank you for listening. Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Geico knows there are many reasons why you ride. From the exciting adventure of the daily commute to the peace of mind that Geico always has your back with 24/7 access to claim service and legendary customer service. But Pamela Mund had one reason in particular.
My skin is extremely averse to most fabrics, except for the soft, buttery feeling of leather. Thankfully, I found my clan of leather lovers in the biking community. It's been life-changing.
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's a new year, and with T-Mobile, it's not about how far apart we are. It's about how close we can be. So we're bringing out our best deal. Right now, get the iPhone 12 on us on every single plan with eligible iPhone trade-in.
So I can FaceTime with my sister in Savannah.
That's right, the iPhone 12 on us on every plan. All on America's 5G leader in coverage. T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits and a new line plus tax. If you cancel, credit stop and balance on required finance agreement may be due. Contact us for well-qualified buyers. Qualifying consumer plan required. See coverage and offer details at T-Mobile.com.